Squirrel taps on window daily for 8 years until dad follows him and sees why. This was the third time that night that she heard the little tap. She has had enough, so she decided to watch the camera footage. She heard another tap. She desperately tried to locate the porch camera. What she saw made her go wake her husband up. She was consumed by fear. Kelly was your average 26-year-old. She was happily married to the love of her life, Brad Shoemaker, and recently finished grad school. They lived their dream lives. They had a beautiful home, good jobs, and a relationship that most people only dreamt of. However, things did not remain that way. Everything changed the moment their son Jeremy was born. They were unable to live in their apartment, as the space was not suitable for a baby. This was a difficult change for the young couple to accept. The couple decided that it was for the best to move to the countryside, as the houses in the city was overpriced and still too small. They had no idea what they were getting themselves into. The family was fortunate to find a beautiful home away from the hustle and bustle from the city. Jeremy was 2 years old when they moved, and he instantly loved the home. The house was surrounded by big, beautiful trees, which was the home for many squirrels. Jeremy loved their little neighbors, but his mother did not feel the same way. A scurry of squirrels can attract a predator, Brad, Kelly shared with her husband at the dinner table. Jeremy spent hours outside, chasing the squirrels, and she feared for his safety. Brad tried to assure her that there was nothing to worry about. However, he started changing his tune one night when he heard a loud noise one night. The first time the Shoemakers heard the noise was on a rainy Sunday night. Brad immediately grabbed his cricket bat and proceeded to investigate. Kelly walked with him, holding her son's bat. She heard Brad open the sliding door, and what they saw sent shivers down their spines. They saw an injured squirrel with a wound on her legs. Kelly immediately tried to help the poor creature. They cleaned the small animal and closed her wound. Their son wrapped the animal in a warm blanket. The noise was gone, but Kelly couldn't shake the feeling that something was still wrong. After a year, the family released Lily into the wild. The family grew attached to their newest addition, and it was a difficult time for them. Lily's absence left a void in the house. Nonetheless, it didn't take long for the tapping noises on their porch door to return. Kelly and Brad rushed to the door with hopes of seeing Lily. However, they were met with nothing but darkness. The taps continued for a month. The taps happened every night for a year. Before they knew it, Kelly was finishing her PhD, Brad got a promotion at work, and Jeremy was about to start with his 5th grade. So many things had changed for the Shoemakers, but one thing remained constant. Nearly a decade passed and the taps returned every night like clockwork. Brad got frustrated with the state of things, so he decided to install cameras in his garden. He even placed a few in the driveway. Kelly spent the majority of her weekend staring at the cameras. She was stopped in her tracks by what she saw. Brad. Kelly raced upstairs to wake her husband. She dashed into Jeremy's room as well, dragging the 10-year-old from sleep. "It's 2 in the morning, Kelly," Brad lamented as he followed her and Jeremy. "What is it?" Kelly didn't answer. She pulled both of them to Brad's study, pointing at the porch camera with wide eyes. Brad gasped. He focused the video feed, zooming in on what he was seeing. Kelly reached out for Jeremy, hugging him as Brad wrapped himself around them. "A squirrel was tapping the porch, Lily?" Jeremy asked, and Kelly nodded. The squirrel was grown, its coat more detailed. The family was about to race to let Lily in when the squirrel did the unexpected. Lily climbed up the rafter and disappeared. "Change cameras," Jeremy almost barked. Brad switched the computer's view to one of the cameras looking at the house. There, Jeremy pointed, Lily was on the roof. She climbed into a small divide between tiles. "Attic?" Kelly suggested, and they all raced upstairs. Their jaws dropped at what they found. Lily was lying in her old cuddler. She nestled 3 kittens between her legs, peacefully feeding them. Kelly broke into happy tears. "This is amazing," she said. Brad and Jeremy did not speak. Kelly reached out for them, and they held each other as they watched. Jeremy sneaked away, returning a minute later with Lily's old blanket. "We are a family again, Mom," he smiled. The Shoemakers bought Lily a new cuddler, one big enough to fit Jossie, Alan, and Cliff, her kids. Brad also cleaned up the attic and made it more friendly to the animals. They discovered that each of the nights they'd heard a knock on their porch. It was Lily. She had been living in their attic all this time. For Kelly, it was amazing watching the baby she raised raise her own babies.
Thank you for watching this fantastic story. Please tap one of the 2 videos on your screen for another amazing Wonder Stories.